Good morning, students. Today we are starting our first chapter from your course book, Flamingo. And our first lesson is the last lesson. I welcome you all in today's lesson. And with the name of this chapter, we come to know about the story that this is about any last lesson. And we'll discuss on the following topics: about the author, then background of the story, then explanation of the story, then we'll discuss the summary, and at last question answers. So first of all, the author. The prose, the last lesson, written by Alphonse Daudet. He was born in 1840 in France and died in 1897. He was a French novelist and short story writer. Previously, he was a school teacher, but later he quit the job and became a journalist in Paris. Now, background of the chapter. Can you recognize the person? Otto von Bismarck. He was a conservative German statesman. He unified and modernized Germany. The story of the chapter moves around the France-Prussian War of 1870-71. France was defeated in the war by Prussia, and the leader of Prussian army was Otto von Bismarck. This war was fought between France and Prussia. Nowadays, Prussia is known as Germany. French districts of Alsace and Lorraine were occupied by Germany, and German government ordered that now in both the districts, French language would not be taught in schools, and only German language would be taught in schools of Alsace and Lorraine. This was a big setback of the people of Alsace and Lorraine, and you can easily understand the pain of leaving one's mother tongue. It is very tough for everyone. And this story is about a young boy, Franz. He tells us about his French teacher, Mr. Hamel's last lesson in their school. Now, French would no longer be taught in the school. Mr. Hamel tells them the importance of it. He asks them to guard their language. So the main theme of the story is the pain that clearly put effect on the people of the territory by its conquerors by taking away the right to study or speak their own language. So now the explanation. I started for school very late that morning and was in great dread of a scolding, especially because Mr. Hamel had said that he would question us on participles, and I didn't know the first word about them. Here I was a small school-going boy, and he is also the narrator of the story. And he is telling us that he was late for school that day, and he was also very much worried, as Mr. Hamel had announced last day that he would conduct a test of participle that day. Participle is the part of grammar, but Franz didn't know anything about it, so he was worried. Means जो भी उनको टेस्ट दिया गया था, जो चीज़ उसके टीचर ने उसको पूछनी थी, वो चीज़ उसको बिल्कुल नहीं आती. पार्टिसिपल्स के बारे में उसको कुछ नहीं आता था. That's why he was worried. Means there वर टू रीजंस ऑफ हिज फेयरनेस. एक तो वो स्कूल के लिए लेट था, दूसरा उसको अपना जो असाइन होमवर्क था वो भी नहीं आता था. नाउ आई थिंक इट्स क्लियर टू यू. For a moment, I thought of running away and spending that day out of doors. It was so warm, so bright, the birds were chirping at the edge of the woods, and in the open field back of the sawmill, the Prussian soldiers were drilling. And friends thought for a moment to run away from the school and spend the day outside where the birds were chirping outside and behind the sawmill. Sawmill means it is a factory of cutting the woods. The soldiers of German army were doing exercise with drums, and the weather was quite pleasant also. So he decided to remain outside the school. It was all much more tempting. Tempting means attracting. That the rule for participles, but I had the strength to resist and hurried off to school. When I passed the town hall, there was a crowd in front of the bulletin board. For the last 2 years, all our bad news had come from there. The lost battles, the draft, the orders of the commanding officer, and I thought to myself without stopping, what can be the matter now? The outer environment attracted him, not the rule for the participles. Means participles के जो rules थे, he was not interested in the grammar. He was attracting by the environment, the pleasant weather. But he thought again, and he couldn't stop himself by going back to school. And then he ran fast towards the school. Then he said, when he was crossing the town hall, it is a government building, he saw a crowd in front of the bulletin board. Bulletin board means it is same as the notice board. He thought that for last 2 years all the news of the war, all the updates came from there, and now what will be new? कि नया क्या है जो इतने लोग वहां पे खड़े हैं. Thank you all.